Hey y'all, I'm Niccara.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome to another episode of But Make It Books.
A podcast where we are bookishly healing through life.
Yes. So as we start all things, as we bookishly healing and not trying to live in this capitalist system, how are you?
I'm good. I am hungry.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I am, physically hungry, but also like hungry, for like life more of whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm ready to take a bite out of crime. No, but I'm ready to.
All right, Scooby-Doo. The hell? Okay, Shaggy. Okay, Scooby.
Somebody called me the snack fairy the other day because I was hanging out. We were hanging out.
You always have snacks?
Well, okay. So in a way, because like we were hanging out. It was like three of us hanging out, 4 of us hanging out. Everybody was doing their own thing, like working. It was like a little co-working thing, which I need to tell you more about actually. And next thing you know, I see everybody's working. I'm like, I think I'm hungry. And then I like look around the room, and then I go in the kitchen for like 30 minutes, and then I come back, and then I go back into the kitchen for like 15 minutes, then I come back, then I go back into the kitchen, then I come back in, and I had that was wings and fries, like for everybody. So that was like, I was like, and you're like, you're a snack fairy. Like, what in the world? I was just sitting here thinking about, I was hungry, whatever. I was like, yeah. So no, I don't always have a snack, but there will be one if I'm in the room. I can say that.
Okay. You never met a snack you didn't like. Got it.
So you calling me fat?
No.
I'm joking. I
hate people. Anyway.
How are you?
I'm good. I am also hungry, but most likely I'm not going to eat anything. All I'm going to do is go home and eat strawberries and chocolate because that will be my lunch. But other than that, I made a bomb bolognese last night. Trying my hand at different things for the fall. Some comfort food. Trying to think about some other things that I can try. And I want to start doing like a cooking club. Well, cooking club in the sense of like I just cook for my friends and I just host. Because I got all these things to host.
Yeah, we need to stop.
And I haven't even done anything with that yet. So yeah, that's what I got going on. Just trying to find some more joy and time in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part. Is cooking something that you're finding joy in, or something you've always had joy in, and you're like, it's like a reminder whenever you cook, it's like, oh, this is actually a joyful process? Or did you have to like find like
I've had a very interesting relationship with cooking. So grew up as an only child. I'm my mom's only child, not my dad's only child, because Papa was a Rolling Stone. Love my dad, but he'd be hoeing. When I was like 13, 14, my mom was just like, yeah, you're gonna have to start learning how to cook, because like, 1, you can't be a woman and not know how to cook, and then 2, like, that's just a skill you should just have as an adult, not as a woman, just like as an adult. And my dad can cook, and so can my grandpa. And so I started like concocting things and learning new tricks of the trade and figuring out what can I cook in the house, trying out different recipes. I always sat in the kitchen where my parents cooked. So now I'm getting that joy back.
Yeah.
It's just time. Probably cook like maybe once or twice a week, because like eating out is just like, oh, my stomach hurts every time. Like, I just can't. So now I've been finding joys in like my favorite takeout foods that I love, like lo mein or orange chicken or fried rice, like, or like a Philly cheesesteak, like making it at home, like, and then my stomach won't be hurt afterwards because I made it at home.
That's because chemicals are in everything, and
yes.
Because like so it really is like it going to a restaurant, it has to be X, Y, and Z certified or be this type of place for you to have a decent experience internally with it.
Yeah, I'm getting old now.
That's
I'm getting
hard.
old now. There's definitely, I can still eat junk food.
Yeah.
But I have to do that very sparingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm old.
That's hard. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like our bodies. It's like I never forget the story of my mom and I went to a Third Street Diner. It's a pretty popular diner in Richmond. When I was a kid, and that's how we discovered that I was allergic to milkshakes. Because within minutes, not milkshakes, shoot, strawberries. Because within me,
said, dang,
not milkshakes. Sorry,
milkshake ain't bringing no boys to the yard. They like it's not better than y'all.
Strawberries, because I had a strawberry milkshake, and the reaction was almost immediate. Like it was like very bad or whatever. But the thing is, now I can have as many strawberries as I want. So it's like it is our bodies change with this stuff.
Strawberry flavor.
I used to not like tomatoes at all. Then I started loving tomatoes, and I love tomatoes now. Though. But now I have to be careful with them because of indigestion. So it's like spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, like any variations like on.
Do you have to make your own sauce?
I have to, but even I do. But like even then, it's like if I make my spaghetti sauce and I have spaghetti tonight for dinner, I can't have it again for another week. So like any leftovers are probably not going to work out, or if I do, I'll probably feel it. Dang, so it's that kind of stuff now. It is like red onions are a big thing for like a lot of people. Red peppers, like I don't know. Allergens are very fascinating to me.
I'm glad I have no allergies. Thank God. I'm not going to this teak wood.
Right. This week I wanted to, because it's so funny because you mentioned the fall.
Yes.
And you know that's full of fall is like the transition into like the big into like the holiday season. It's like from Labor Day through to the New Year, we have a holiday every month. Yeah. Of some kind. And like not just like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day or whatever thing that people like to celebrate, but like that carry weight. You know what I mean? People, it's like Labor Day is right before school starts, so like that's the last day of the vacation. Halloween, self-explanatory. Yeah. Thanksgiving, also self-explanatory. Yeah. All these things, right? So
and also the Queen's birthday. It's me. I'm the Queen.
The Queen's birthday. That's for sure. We did well. Your girl's birthday was just a week ago.
It was just a week ago.
Just a week ago. And so I feel like I wanted to get into an episode about one of my favorite passions, which is cooking. Yes. And the number of like I condensed to just what some of my favorites that we have here at the bookstore. That way I didn't go too wide, because I really do love reading cookbooks. I love I mean, it's almost like a memoir. It's like a different, like one thing I've said on the pod before, I think, is like I really appreciate someone playing with form. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of cookbooks are memoirs. They just have a different form. Yeah. And it's just it's a great snapshot into somebody's life and upbringing. And then I have a few representations we'll get into that are a variety of feelings. What is the dish that you make that would make it into a cookbook? Like hands down. Like this dish is going inside of a cookbook.
It's so funny. I was just talking to my best friend about this, and she was talking about like fall things. And I think my chili. I love my chili. Yeah, that's like something hands down. I've started to perfected it throughout the years. And I'm still finding out different variations I can do with my chili. But my chili for sure, like my fiance craves it. My best friend loves it. Like that is something that like the girls be like, girl, you making that chili or no? And invite me. Yeah. So that's definitely one of them. Yeah. My chili.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's because mine also goes to, and I think we'll be here, to like that place of comfort. Yeah. Specifically.
I'm a comfort fooder.
I'm a comfort fooder big time. I love when the weather's cold enough for me to get into like my favorite foods.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
Because all my favorite foods are like very fall hardy. Yeah.
Slow cook kind of, stuff for sure. And it is also like a soup based thing. It's I make this shrimp and potato soup that I've been making for a very long time. It started out with my Nana would always watch cooking shows, and I watched her, and I forget who, but she made one. I forget who's. It was like Rachel Ray or Ina Garten or maybe even Paula Deen. Actually, it might have been Paula Deen. Paula.
Lord
have mercy, Miss Ma'am.
The
But
food be slapping though.
yeah, I mean,
Racist delights.
It's butter and cheese, and I
Yeah.
mean, you
It's
fry
giving.
anything, it's
Look,
gonna
it's
go
like
down.
it's just like hate filet.
I mean, yeah, I had an interesting conversation about that the other day, but anyway,
Anyway,
like
they stick to their guns. Ciao, hate filet.
and so, long story short, like my nana made it a couple of times, but then like over time, I started like making my own version, and it's developed into. It's like even like it's like now because like now I'm an experienced cook, so like I can make my own shrimp stock for it now versus like it's like so like it's now just better. It tastes better. So that one I think I'm gonna go with that one, even though like my chili is also like. I want to try yours though for sure. I love chili.
Me
Chili
too.
is amazing.
Chili is so good. Chili's so good.
Yeah.
You got to get the tortilla chips on the side. I always do the hint of lime.
So so tortilla chips and hint of lime. That's your dressing, like how you dress your bowl of chili.
Yeah.
Like for you personally.
With definitely with cheese on top, sour cream.
Yes.
Guess all the things.
Yeah. See, I gotta have the sour cream. Like my chili looks like a dip. After I'm done like souping it up, honestly, like it looks
honestly,
like a dip.
same.
Like,
and honestly, we eat it like a dip.
Like a dip, because then it's like, well, so for me,
because there's really no base. We don't put rice underneath. We just eat it.
So the first time I ever made it and like presented it, I made like a big old hunk of cornbread because that's how I eat it. I eat it with cornbread.
That would be good. Yeah, I usually do cornbread too, like the honey cornbread.
And I like spooned it over top of that, so it kind of had like this cascade of chili off of the cornbread or whatever. That was the first time I ever like presented it for something. The thing was demolished, obviously.
Yes.
But it was that's how, like, with the sour cream and the cheese and hot sauce.
So are you a cornbread cake? Like your cornbread needs to taste like cake?
Not I what like this is
because that's a me thing. I like my cornbread to be like cake.
On the last episode, we talked about recipes too, which is funny. And one of my stepmom's recipes is like her corn. Like she calls it like her corn cake because it is like a corn cake versus like a cornbread. And I would demolish it as a child. Yeah. Like I would like hunk after hunk. My palate has shifted a touch off of sweets, so my stuff is less. Mine is less sweet, but like if it's cornbread, it's going down. Period. So it's like it's going down into my stomach. So yeah, ice broken. So we were just, I don't know. I didn't really. This is one of those ones where it's like I just wanted to kind of highlight and shout out, and then toss you a thought or a question or whatever. Just some of my favorites.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do. I'll start with one that I feel like I constantly talk about this one. I love this memoir, Confessions. Notes from a Young Black Chef, Kwame Onuwachi. Top Chef winner, DC-based chef, has had a couple restaurants, just very successful. His food is very good. And I have two of his works here. And I want to start with this one. Okay. Because it works and it translates because it is technically a memoir. And it's his story growing up as a kid in New York with Nigerian backgrounds and immigrant parents.
Yes.
So he cooks with heavily from his cultural influence and from his background. And he was going into these kitchens that were predominantly white male driven and centric. And he tested their ego, like in a very finessed way. And I think that's what's really interesting because like, he didn't back down from the fact that he knew that he had a lot to learn still, but also he knew that it was already within him, and you can't deny that. So he really went on like journeys of like cooking out on boats and being sent to Africa to stay with his family over there. So he, long story short, goes through his own personal obstacles dealing with the system, with immigration, with culture, all these things, and he shared it in this lovely, lovely, lovely retelling. And there's recipes spliced in through it. I think my question for this specific book is there a food experience that you've had? And it could be like, cooking for friends or family, or like, because you used to do urban charcuterie quite a bit, so it could be that. It could be just date night between you and Dwayne. Like, what's a food experience that you felt like you really felt like you created, or you felt the vibe of whatever the curator, chef, whomever was trying to get? Like, where did you really feel that atmosphere, that connection to the food based off of the hands that prepared it?
So it's not a restaurant anymore. They just do catering. But Ida B's table.
Oh, yeah.
You could feel when
Yeah.
you walked in the door and talking to the chef and eating them collard greens. I still have dreams about those collard greens. And I would do some nasty things for them collard greens. Where you could feel in that moment that everything that they wanted you to experience, you needed to experience in that moment. When you walk and you sit down, based on the menu, based on just the atmosphere, based on the people who came in and came out, and then the art, you knew they wanted you to feel like this is from their soul, from their spirit, and then also that this is a very Black experience too, and that anybody is welcome. But at the end of the day, like, you're entering into a safe space for Black life and Black culture and Black food.
Yeah.
And I really miss that restaurant.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And the only other place I think that is probably one of my favorite places still is Spoons too in Baltimore. I've been going to them since I was a kid, since I was like 6, since we moved to Baltimore. And everything is curated to that is seasonal, comes from local food vendors throughout the Maryland area, and it's just always, without a doubt, always good.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, always good. So good. So good, in fact, that you need reservations now. That was never the case when I was growing up. So now it's like, what?
Yeah.
Reservations?
Reservations.
For me?
Yeah.
But look, I will follow the rules. I'm not above. But yeah. How about you?
So my experience was actually a theatrical experience.
Oh.
It is, but it involved food.
Yeah.
And this is like, I love this, right? Long story short, a family is telling their story of I'm in New York. This is a play that was in New York like 6 or 7 years ago. The story is an African couple tells the story at 3 major generational parts of their life, and how their family has been around and supported them and has engaged with them in their way of their way of doing as a tribe, that now has first generation family.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 milestones after that first generation, and that's where the story resides. But you get to see the kind of tracing back to the tribe, like there is no influence of Columbus colonization, triangle trade. There's no influence of any of that on the story. It is just the culture and the family and the heritage.
Yeah.
So much so that as soon as you walk in the room, you smell the stew, the nut stew that was in the pot cooking throughout the show. The ground was dirt floor. You were sat on like crates and other odds and ends. There was fabric. I don't even have all the language to honorably denote what they are, but they're like, you pretty much walked into what their ancestors' hut may have been, but they very much told their American story, their first generation American story in front of us, while who they are was surrounding them the entire time. And you got a taste of like the nut stew or what have you. That was the moment where I was like, this playwright wanted to share and tell and work with us on all of this or whatever. That was an amazing experience. I love that one. Similarly, so Kwame also talks about, he kind of breaks it down in like his book My America, and it's a cookbook. This one's like essentially his memoir, but it's a cookbook. So, do you read do you actually read like cookbooks, or do you look for the recipes?
Now I do, but before then, no, I didn't. So Reese Witherspoon's cookbook, Whiskey in a Teacup, is like half memoir, half cookbook, 2-ish, but it's really like a cookbook. Like, she goes through like how to host and how to be a hostess and all those things. And then Dookie Chase is one that I actually like read.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one that I actually, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's one I like actually
Yeah.
read, and
Yeah.
that's really just a straight cookbook, but the history that's so deep. And so for folks who don't know what Dookie Chase is, it's like a super well known restaurant in New Orleans, and it's actually that was the premise. Leah Chase is actually the premise for Tiana, Princess Tiana, and Princess and the Frog for Disney's Princess and the Frog. So
Yeah. That's which was a movie that needed to be done a little differently.
I liked it. I know
I
I'm
did
not
love the music, hands down, but you know,
it's okay. Everybody
okay.
hate that she was a frog after the movie.
Yeah,
I know.
right,
It's
I
okay.
know.
Okay. Ah!
Samin Nosrat,
Uh-huh.
Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Very, very, very popular book. Learn to cook delicious meals with any ingredient, anytime, anywhere, even without a recipe. It's a really
Some of y'all need recipes, no offense, but
but that's the thing. It's like, and even like the subtitle,
love y'all,
mastering the
but-
elements of cooking. It
Yes.
kind of breaks it down to like the root form of like everything from a bean or like a legume to like a knife.
every time
And,
I
like,
think about legumes, I'm
what
sorry. I
you-
think about Proud Family, the movie. I'm so sorry. When them legumes were dancing.
That's too much. I'm over you. Yes. So it's so this is a very like and like let's go to like almost the science of cooking. Like the root of what this is and how it is, or
You're about it for the
why,
way.
and so forth. But she does, and it's like it's a breakdown of like salt, fat, acid, heat. So it's like the conduction, the implications, the influences, the things that just come along with the cooking process inherently. So she goes to like the root of that. What is there a challenging moment or a challenging technique, style, form, ingredient that you ever used or experienced in the cooking experience?
Honestly, baking. That is really hard. Because I know some people who are bakers but not cookers, like who cannot cook meals but they can bake their ass off. And so I took a class learning how to make danishes, and still to this day it's super hard. That and pie crust, like to really perfect a pie crust to make sure it also goes well with what you're making. I made pie crust not too long ago when I made our family's sweet potato pie recipe, and making the pie crust was hard.
Yeah.
Making pie crust from scratch is hard. So for me, that's like the toughest thing. And that to me is baking is way more science-based to me than making a meal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, so again, it's like, it is like most people are either cooks or bakers. A lot of the time it's one way or another. Not always, but a lot of times. But for me, I am one of those people who can do both, but like you should hire a baker instead of me to bake the things, because I could make you something that tastes really good. That's the cooking part, but the presentation aspect, the flourish of baking, like you, like they say you eat with your eyes first. Pastry is like
straight eye
like
work.
it is, and like how meticulous you have to be in some places, or it's like that's the first part. And this is also why it's like I love rustic home cooked stuff, because like this is my style. It ain't pretty, but it's gonna be good.
Like, that's me too. I'm like, look, we giving Little House on the Prairie out here. Home on the range.
I mean, please. So speaking of desserts, we'll go into a little nostalgia here.
Yes.
We both love us some Golden Girls. And I just want to shout out the fact that the Golden Girls have a cookbook. That's cheesecake and cocktails. They have a children's book.
They
like
do.
a board book and everything. They have it all up there.
Puzzles.
If you don't know Golden Girls, first off,
Yes.
Second, 4 women live in a house. They're all
seasoned.
There you go. Come on, cooking terms in life. And they live in this house in sort of like in a roommate separate situation. And it's a sitcom from the 80s, hilarious. Betty White, B. Arthur, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty. Get your life. Hilarious.
Yes, hilarious.
Big centering thing was cheesecake in that show,
Yes.
though. Whenever anybody had a problem, like if Dorothy was dating another no good man, or Blanche thought her beauty was fading, or
Yes.
Rose told some stupid story
Story
from
from
St.
Phil.
Olaf or whatever, they'd all come around the table and have a piece of cheesecake and discuss the problem. So I want to go to dessert. What does that represent to you as a meal? As a course? As a course. Like, what does that mean for you?
So I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. I love me a little something sweet.
So, Denzel, I swear. Okay.
I love me something sweet. Like last night, I had me something sweet after a savvy. I'm going to get some ice cream. There's probably at least 2 or 3 variations of ice cream in my freezer currently right now, because I'm going to get some type of something, or ginger snaps. I got those. I love dessert. I think dessert is very important. I think it also is a completion to a meal. And then also a reminder too that like throughout all of this, like there is sweetness in the end. That was a little poetic too.
Yeah, that's how it feels like as a course. Yeah.
So when a dessert ain't good, I'm pissed.
Yeah. And I think that's what fears me from getting it at a lot of restaurants.
That's fair.
Because it's like often it's not good.
Yeah.
But this is also why my dessert favorites are very like simple, like sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
Or ice cream. Also, I'm very big
apple
ice cream
pie.
person. I do like, but see, it's like I love apple pie and ice cream.
I'm separate.
I love ice cream, period.
Okay.
Apple pie, I'm gonna be like, ooh, we got ice cream. So it's so funny because you said I need something sweet. There was a meme that took me out. It said that moment where you just finished eating and you sitting there and then you'd be like, ooh, I got something sweet. And the meme like got up out the chair and like he started running.
That's me.
That's
me.
That's what it is. I'll never forget. I'll tell this quickly. I'll never forget because I also have always had a sweet tooth. And I was one of those kids that's like, oh, a honey bun is everything. A honey bun. When I was a kid, a honey bun. So, long story short, my grandma we're in Walmart and I bring over to her my little husky 12-year-old self, 11-year-old self brings over like a 12-pack of honey buns. And I'm like, can you get this for me, Gabby? And she's like, would your mom get that for you? I said, I don't know. Like, can you get this for me?
You know the answer. The answer is no.
But I also knew that my Gammy was going to get it for me, and she sure enough did. Man, it was such an interesting moment because my mom was not happy that happened.
God.
Like, and she was not. She was like, oh, this you don't need. Because, I mean, nobody needs all that.
No, you don't.
But, like,
there's also that meme. It's like, nothing wrong with him. He just look like a honey bun.
Just look like a honey bun. That's all. So, for me, dessert represents... Like, and this is why I love this cookbook for this as Golden Girls thing. It's a bit of nostalgia because it reminds me of a place where I didn't care about what it would do to me. I just wanted it and I was happy and I loved it. Now I think about, oh shoot, I got this person and that person. That person's diabetic in my family.
Yeah,
I can't put
too much
sugar in this, or I got to use raw sugar for that. It's like now it's like all different. So for me, it's like. Dessert is like a reminder of a place that was
Simpler
once
time.
untouched.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or like
that.
didn't care. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
Me too.
Cookbooks are a great resource and foundation to get in the kitchen. The thing I would like to offer is that I really hope that everybody finds the time to manage their kitchen. Because it really is going to be a freeing part of your life on so many ways. It's going to give you more life. Quite honestly, like I'll never forget, I went through this massive breakup in college, and people think I lost weight because of the sadness and the stress and the depression and all that stuff. And there was that, but like I also cooked everything inside my house. Like I needed a practice that helped me or healed me or got me out of my head or whatever. And like everything from my own potato chips to my own ice cream to bagels, like I just did everything in the kitchen. And I lost like 50 pounds going into that next school year or whatever. And so I was like, it was the first time I realized that we have control to kind of create a healthier life for us. The problem is it's not as accessible as it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we've been trained to think that convenience is best. Like those two things. One, accessibility to convenience. Those are two biggest flaws right there. So if you can manage those, please take hold of them, and please get into that kitchen and just find the joy for cooking. You know, you don't have to write a whole cookbook. That's not what this episode's about. It's about showing that there's a platform for storytelling that is also a way to like live a better and healthier and therefore happier life. And like the format is in a genre section in your own neighborhood bookstore. It's right there. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think my biggest takeaway for everyone is, you know, food is how we gather.
Yep.
And if you are looking for community or in your home, even for communing with yourself or communing with others, I think this is the perfect way to commune. Also taking the time, like you said, with convenience and accessibility. If you take the time to make a dish that takes a little bit of time, it might take an hour, it might take 2, but having that peace to just be methodical and cook and measure and pay attention and not run to the next thing or the next thing. Just really sit and work with the seasonings and the flavors and the foods. I think that can bring a lot of things to the table that you might not even realize within yourself. And that's what I enjoy so much about cooking, is the commune of it.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, and don't let the potential complications of cooking rob you of that commune. Because when I'm saying like making a salad is cooking, a grilling a piece of chicken, boiling some broccoli, and roasting some potatoes with it or whatever, that's like something that's simple.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be this lavish thing. It can be, oh, I got to get dinner on the table in 20 minutes, and still be this thing where it's like it's not fear. There's no fear in it.
Even
or
making
whatever.
a little cheese plate,
Exactly.
like with some grapes.
Even that is like, exactly, because it's like
you putting down everything you love on a plate and you just eating it.
Which is just goes back to the nostalgic thing, because how many of us loved like the Lunchable thing, or like, you know, making your adult Lunchable. That's still a form of like cooking that's like gonna feed you and sustain you inside and out. So find your relationship with cooking, and I think cookbooks are a great resource to start, because I think if you find a good one that really lays out,
but having that peace to just be methodical and cook and measure and pay attention and not run to the next thing or the next thing, just really sit and work with the seasonings and the flavors and the foods. I think that can bring a lot of things to the table that you might not even realize within yourself. And that's what I enjoy so much about cooking, is the commune of it.
Yeah. We have our live events where we're going to get to do that with you in person. We're going to cook up some healing with the amazing Disha Filial, author of Secret Lives of Church Ladies. She will be in conversation with Niccara and I at Center Stage
October 5th.
We have a very, very, very small number of VIP tickets that allow you to come and kind of kick it with Niccara, myself, and Disha. And you can grab a selfie and chat with us, you know, over a drink. And then we go into the live recording, which is open to everyone for $15. And then I don't want to make sure it's like, look,
not like you gotta pay. It ain't free. This ain't no free lunch, but we hear y'all.
We hear y'all. We hear you. It's like, I really would love to see all of y'all. As mentioned, if you there can, please share with everybody. It is, again, the VIP thing. There's like a very, very, very small number of tickets are there. And the recording, there are more tickets, but still very limited numbers. So don't dawdle. Get your ducats together.
Amen. And all that is just keep bookishly healing, y'all. And we gonna catch y'all next time.
Or
we gonna be healing some more. Peace, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Niccara. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. If you like it, please make sure you review, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Of course, sharing is caring, so make sure you share with your friends and let everyone know to come into Charm City Books to get our recommendations. And thank you so much for listening again, and I'll see y'all. Be good.